Hi guys, welcome back to Garage Gossip. My name is Mara, and in today's episode, we're just gonna be yapping once again. That's always what I do. I just yap. I don't have a lot to talk about today. Let me tell you that I don't have a lot, but we're gonna talk a little bit about Austria because obviously that's the next Grand Prix. We have to chat about Valtteri Bottas because I saw something online and I need to talk to you all about. Then we also have F1 Academy, the Netflix series. I'm also going to chat about that. And yeah, that's basically it. So, that being said, let's just jump straight into today's episode, which I don't know if it's going to be a long one, but yeah, let's go. Alrighty, so I would like to start by talking about Valtteri Bottas because that's just been on my mind since I saw it this morning, and I'm just like, what do you mean? So I don't know if y'all know. You've probably seen it. Yeah, like when I'm recording this, you might have not seen it yet. But when this episode is like out, when it's online, you probably would have seen it already. Valtteri Bottas, I think he posted it today, like the day that I'm recording it. He posted a video on his Instagram and I also think on his TikTok, um, of him and like he like with a Cadillac, like a normal Cadillac car, and like another guy in I don't know the guy's name. Like I know who he is because he is kind of part of Mercedes, but I don't know his name. And he's like, hmm, looks like a nice seat. And Valtteri's like, yeah, that looks like a nice seat. Wanna try it? No, not yet. Wanna sit in it? No, not yet. What do you mean, kind sir? Valtteri, hello, babes. Do you need to tell us something? Do you need to tell us that you will be driving for Cadillac next season? Because honestly, I am so here for that. I am so here for that. I miss Valtteri on the grid this season. I've watched two videos on YouTube yesterday of ESPN, and they were doing like kindly calling people out. It was one of like the VCOP duo. I'm not supposed to say that. The Racing Bulls duo, and one of the Haas duo, and they had like little like questions. So one was like, who on the grid tips the most, something like that, and they both videos is at Valtteri, and I was like, yes, yes. Um, but yeah, I miss Valtteri. I miss Valtteri on the grid. Like I need him. There's so many races that I'm just like, oh, where's Valtteri? Oh wait, not racing. Yeah, I miss him. I don't know. I have this kind of bond with Valtteri. I just love Valtteri. Like I love him. Like he's so iconic, and I miss him. So if he would be on the grid next season, I would be very, 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 very happy. Like, and like I vaguely remember something on Instagram. I don't know which account it was, but I vaguely remember something was posted about like Cadillac, and they had tagged two drivers in their post, I think, or it was like they followed only two drivers, and those two drivers were Valtteri Bottas, which with the video, the evidence might be there that he actually is driving for Cadillac next season. And the second one was Mick Schumacher. And I've said it in my last episode as well. I would love for Mick to reappear on the grid because I didn't get a chance to see him drive when he was on the grid. But I would be here for it if he gets another chance because I love Mick. I love Mick. And I didn't get to see him drive last time, so that would be actually very fun if those two drivers and that driver pairing, I don't know, but for some reason I see them together. Like they just fit in my head. In my head, they just fit together. Maybe it's the fact that they've both been at Mercedes for quite a while. I mean, Mick's not anymore, but Valtteri still is at Mercedes. That would also be something interesting. Like if Valtteri actually went to Cadillac and gets to drive for Cadillac, who will be Mercedes' reserve driver? Will it be Fred Vesti that gets that spot? Because I would also be here for that. Actually, honestly, Valtteri just go to Cadillac because that would have just so many benefits. One, you would be on the grid again. I would be happy about that. Two, probably Frederick Vesti gets the reserve driver role, and I will be here for that as well, because 2 years ago, when Fred was still racing in F2, and he was teammates with Ollie Behrman at Prema, I was in the Fred Festi club. I was always said Festi Bestie. That's I was there. I was supporting for Fred to score, like to get the championship win, but it was Theo Pocher who actually won it. And I really was sad about that. I mean, he still deserved it, but I would have preferred Fred Festi. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I need to put that in here because I'm actually internally like not okay because of that video. Like I'm just like what I really need a driver confirmation for Cadillac for next season. Like I actually honestly need it. It's actually honestly it's so insane how a team that's not even on the grid yet has me so riled up. I need a driver confirmation, guys. I've been speculating with a lot of people online for so long that I need it. I'm gonna do a little switch up. I'm gonna talk about F1 because the only other thing about F1 that I still have is the Austria Grand Prix, and I'm gonna talk about that later in the episode. Firstly, I want to talk about F1 The Academy, the Netflix show. I still haven't fully completed watching it, but I have watched, I think, 5 episodes. Yeah, 4 or 5 episodes, and these are my conclusions, my thoughts on it up until this point. First things first, it's very well produced. I really love watching it, and I think it doesn't have the same vibes as Drive to Survive has, because Drive to Survive is very dramatic. Like if you don't watch Formula One, you probably might not like be able to split the Drive to Survive drama from the actual like what actually happens on the in F1 world. But like when I look at the documentary on F1 Academy, I don't feel the need to separate that show with the actual racing series, if you get what I mean. Like I don't feel the need to to separate the drama parts, because there aren't any drama parts. Of course, it's always going to be a little bit more dramatic than what it's actually like, because that's the thing about documentaries in this like time period. We have music, we have so many like technology like kind of stuff that we can use to dramatize certain events and certain things we see on our screen. That's the whole thing. I'm a journalism student, so I know. But I just think it's very well produced, and it's great watching it. There are only 3 things that up until this point have caught my eye that I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. So the first thing is that there's no mention at all of the first season of F1 Academy. The season that is in the documentary is the second season of F1 Academy. The first season of F1 Academy, one, it didn't get the same media attention as like the second and the third season now, because the races weren't at the F1 circuits. They were at random circuits. Some of them were F1 circuits, but they weren't on the F1 weekends. Yeah, that. And so, like, because of that, it didn't get the same media hype and the same media attention. And so, the fact that it's not mentioned in the documentary is really sad. Also, like, there's no mention of Marta Garcia being the first ever F1 Academy champion, which I think that's so disrespectful. Like, Marta Garcia is literally. I follow her on Instagram, so obviously I see a lot of her on my feed, and I also follow her on TikTok. I see a lot of her on my feed because I follow her. But if you don't follow her on Instagram or on TikTok, on any social media platform, I don't think you see a lot of what she's up to right now. because F1 Academy isn't supporting her the same way that they've supported Abby Pulling, in my opinion. And I don't know if that is actually true, but that's how I feel about it. Yeah, that's my first point of criticism. The second one, why is there no mention of the first race weekend? Like, the first episode starts with the race in Miami. But before they went to Miami, they had a race in Saudi where Dorian Pain technically won, like finished first in every session. Well, every important session. I don't know about free practice. Technically, because the last session she got demoted from the win because she did a second, like she did a push lap when the race was already finished. Whatever. Why is there no mention of that? Like, okay, I get that we want to focus on Abby Pulling and about her whole journey to winning the championship. But if you make an episode about Dorian Pain being a very close competitor to Abby Pulling, why not mention her whole dominant weekend, that first race weekend? Why leave that out? I noticed that because I watched almost all the F1 Academy races last year. Like, I watched them, but if you didn't watch them, you don't know that the whole Saudi weekend happened. So yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe they weren't there to film it yet. I don't know. But you could have at least used footage from the broadcasts because it still exists. That footage still exists because you can rewatch the whole entire Grand Prix, like not Grand Prix races, like race 1 and race 2 and the qualifying sessions. You can watch them, like rewatch them on F1 TV. So you could have used at least some footage from that, put in a voiceover, and boom, done. Put in an interview with Dorian, put in an interview with Abby Pilling, done, I would think. But yeah, that's my second point of like criticism. Like, why is there no mention of that race weekend? At least up until the point that I've watched right now, no mention of Saudi, which I think is a bit weird. And then my third and final point of criticism is that I think it's like kind of sad in a way that there's only they only focus on a few drivers. Like, they focus on Bianca Bustamante, they focus on Leah Block, they focus on the Alcabates sisters, and they focus on Abby Pilling and Dorian Pain. Those 5 drivers are the main focuses of the whole campaign, like of the whole series, up until the point that I've watched right now. Okay, the other girlies pop in sometimes, but not a lot. Like, I don't think Tina Houseman has had an interview bit yet. I don't think I've seen a interview bit with like other. I mean, I think the only other driver that I've seen an interview bit with that's not one of the 5 drivers that I've mentioned just now is Chloe, I think. But I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it's a bit sad to see that they've only put their focus on those few drivers, and I get it. I get that you want to follow Abby Pulling and Dorian Pain in the title fight. Obviously. I get that you want to follow Bianca Bustamante in her last season in F1 Academy, which proved to be a very difficult season. I get that. I get that you want to follow the Alcabazi sisters because they are the first, like, females of the, like, what is it? Arabian Emirates? What? Of, like, that part of the world that are into racing and are racing in such high, like, series. I also kind of get that you want to follow Leah Block because, one, it's her first season and she's in like single seaters, and she, before she went to F1 Academy, she's had a very successful and unique road already to get into F1 Academy. So I get that you want to follow them, but I just think it's kind of sad that you only follow those 5 and you don't give some bits of screen time to the other girlies. Because how many drivers are there? 22? Wait, I actually need to. How many drivers are there in F1 Academy? I'm actually gonna Google that because Stupid me, forgot. I can't remember. 22? No, that's not 22 drivers. I think this season there's 22. Or maybe 18. What? We're gonna see. Last year there were 16 drivers. How is it that there's so many, or 15 actually, 15 because we sometimes have a wild card. How is it that so many of these drivers don't get screen time? Like, yeah, that is something that really stuck out to me, that I'm just like, it's a bit sad because there's drivers in here that didn't get that didn't get a next season. And I'm just like, why are we only focusing on those 5? Yeah, that's the other criticism that I had for the whole F1 Academy series. Like, I'm enjoying it, obviously, I'm enjoying watching it. I think it's very fun to watch it, and there's a lot of wholesome moments that, you know, we hadn't seen before that they've now put in the documentary, that I'm just like, oh, that's actually very cute. Like, I teared up at one point where Leah was talking about her dad. Teared up at that. I also teared up at Abby Pulling's dad when Abby won the championship, and she was saying something in an interview about, like, where's my dad, like, you guys need to go and find him, like, I just want to hug him. And his dad was watching that interview on the big screen. Like, that made me tear up. Like, it's just, those wholesome moments really make it fun to watch, and just, yeah, I enjoyed watching it, and I'm definitely gonna continue watching it. And if they decide to make a new season, I will obviously still watch that. But just sad. Those 3 points of criticism were just things that really stuck out to me that I just wanted to point out. That being said, let's move on to Austria. There's 3 things that I've written down, okay? I'm going in pairs of 3 today, apparently. First things first, I did not watch the Austria Grand Prix last season because I was on the plane flying to Lisbon. But I remember being in the airport and just watching, like, the start of the race. I think. Actually, did I watch this? Yeah, I did watch the start of the race. And then I landed, and I was like, I really hope Lando won this Grand Prix, because I had a gut feeling that Lando was gonna win the Grand Prix, but he didn't. He didn't win. I think it was, like, in the end, it was like George Russell that won the Grand Prix, because obviously Max Verstappen and Lando Norris collided. Yeah, that fight last season, I had to rewatch a video of that fight. I mean, fight. It wasn't really nice, but it was also really a fight, was it? I'm just scared for some reason that something like that might happen again this weekend. But I'm not manifesting that. I just, to the gods above me, please don't. If you want 2 drivers to collide, let it not be Lando Norris with any other driver. Just let that man be for some time. Thank you. And I forgot what I was saying. Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Yeah, it's just like something in me is once again telling me, like, you're gonna, something is gonna happen. But I don't know. Well, how did we do last Grand Prix again? Lando Norris DNF, right. As if I cannot remember that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, like, looking at the pace of the Red Bull, because honestly, I'm trying to guess how the pace of the Red Bull is gonna be, but I think it's gonna be quite good, actually. Like, I feel that, like, Austria is gonna be a race where Red Bull is gonna want to perform good, obviously, because it's in a Red Bull ring. So yeah, I don't know. I I'm just fingers crossed nothing happens to Lando this race, because if something does happen to Lando, I will go feral. Honestly, I will go feral. Yeah. I just feel like Austria, for some reason, it's such a chaotic Grand Prix. Every single year, it's such a chaotic Grand Prix. And maybe it's the circuit layout, I don't know. It's just something about that Grand Prix. Every season, it's so chaotic. I don't know. Because I literally just watched the video of like the 10 most chaotic onboards of last Grand Prix, like last year. I was like, why is it this chaotic? How can a Grand Prix be this chaotic? Like, I honestly don't get that. You know what I mean? And also track limits, guys. Track limits, big thing in Austria. Like, remember Ocon? I think 2 years ago. How many penalties did that man get? Like, a lot. A lot. So track limits is gonna be a very big thing, I think, this weekend. I think it's just a normal Grand Prix weekend, like it's not a sprint weekend, I think. Or is it? No, it's not a sprint weekend. So we do have three practice sessions, which is gonna be nice for like the newer drivers on the grid, for like Ollie, Kimi, Gabriel, Isaac, Liam as well. I'm forgetting someone. Franco. It's gonna be nice for them to have those three practice sessions to get used to the track limits, because I think those 6 drivers are really in danger of getting a lot of track limits violations. Definitely during quali. I feel like those 6, and also Lando. I don't know. I have a feeling about Lando and track limits. That just, my gut feeling says that doesn't mix very well. If you get what I mean. And yeah, Esteban Ocon, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at that man. Do not get as much track limits violations as 2 years ago, because that would honestly be insane. That my penalty tracker will be full if you get as much penalties this season. Right now, anyway, if you guys want a update on the penalty log, there are a few drivers that I don't have any penalties in here for yet. Those are Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Hugo, and Nico Hulkenberg. Those are the drivers that don't have any penalties. Yeah, during quali or during the race. If you are now listening and you're like, that driver has already gotten a penalty during a race or during qualifying session, let me know, because then I've just missed it. The drivers with penalties. So Lando Norris has 1 penalty. Lewis Hamilton also has 1. Max Verstappen has 3. Liam Lawson also has 3. George Russell has 2. Kimi Antonelli has 1. Lance Stroll has 2. Jack Doohan also has 2, but that's obviously not gonna get more than 2. I actually need to add Franco Colapinto to this log. I don't think he has any penalties yet. Ollie Behrman has 2. Yuki Tsunoda has 1. Isaac Hedger also has 1. Carlos Sainz has 3. Alex Albon has 1, and Gabriel also has 1. So right now, there is 3 people on the top step, and that's Max Verstappen, Liam Lawson, and Carlos Sainz with the penalties. Yeah. I mean, it's very fun to do this, but if Esteban Ocon gets as much penalties as it did 2 years ago, my log is gonna be full. Then we already know Esteban Ocon is gonna win the penalty log championship this year. Yeah. For y'all's information, not only F1 is racing in Austria, F2 is too, and I really recommend y'all to watch the F2 races and the F2 qualifying sessions, because honestly, this year it's absolutely insane. Like, it's absolutely insane. The championship is just so alive. It's insane. Like last season, I vaguely remember Gabriel Bortoleto, and obviously Gabi and Isaac, they were very close together, but they at one point started to like get away from the pack. This season, it's so bunched up. It's so interesting because I've had a different person on the top step for every Grand Prix weekend. Let me tell y'all who's already been on the top step this season. After Australia, we had Joshua Dirksen in P1. After Bahrain, we had Leonardo Fornaroli. After Saudi Arabia, we had Richard Verschoor. After Imola, we had Alex Dunn. After Monaco, we had Luke Browning. After Spain, we now have Alex Dunn again. Which is so interesting. Like a Lindblad, because we obviously have to talk about Ovid, he has been doing so well. He is currently in P3 of the championship with 79 points. Alex Dunn is in P1 with 87 points, and Richard Verschoor is in P2 with 84 points. But like the person that's in like P4, I think it's Crawford. I think Crawford is in P4, but like shared P4 with Luke Browning. They both have 73 points. So it's like, it's so bunched up, and it's so interesting because there's not one race that we've had like the same person on pole, the same person win the sprint race, and the same person win the feature. I take that back. We had in Australia, I think, Dirksen had a very, very dominant weekend. Not super dominant, but like kind of dominant. But it's just, there's not one team or one driver that is clearly the stronger one of like the grid, which is so fun. And yeah, I really, really recommend you to watch the F2 championship and all the F2 races and everything like that, because it's so much fun. And with that being said, that's everything I have for today. I hope you. Sorry, I thought it was raining again, so I had to close my window, but it's not. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I tried to fill a whole episode. I don't know if it really worked or if it was just a very boring episode. I don't know, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode or a random video of mine on YouTube, because I also post YouTube videos. And yeah, that being said, you on YouTube, you will see me again next week. Yes, next week will be the last episode before I leave for my family vacation. You on Spotify, you will hear me next week. Bye!